What if you could hold the entire known world in your hands? Grand map rooms like this were centers of power, not just decorative. They were crucial for planning voyages, managing empires, and understanding vast territories. Discover how ancient cartographers meticulously charted unknown lands, transforming humanity's perception of our planet and unleashing global exploration. Did you know major decisions impacting millions were forged in rooms just like this? Palace councils brought together advisors to debate weighty matters. They shaped laws, negotiated treaties, and guided kingdoms. Witness the quiet power of intellect and strategy converging, revealing how these strategic gatherings steered the course of entire civilizations. Imagine a world where knowledge wasn't instantly accessible. At the scribe's desk, every word was a painstaking creation. These diligent individuals preserved history, laws, and literature, ensuring wisdom transcended generations. Discover how their meticulous work wasn't just writing, it was safeguarding civilization's collective memory, igniting future progress. Step into a place where contemplation shaped the future. Medieval cloisters weren't just tranquil spaces, they were intellectual hubs. Monks here transcribed texts, developed new agricultural techniques, and contributed to medicine. Unleash your curiosity about how these serene retreats preserved learning and fostered innovation during challenging times. How did masterpieces like cathedrals and palaces come to life? In workshops like this, Renaissance architects blended art and science. They experimented with perspective, engineered daring structures, and reimagined urban spaces. Discover how their innovative designs didn't just build. They transformed cityscapes, inspiring centuries of aesthetic and structural brilliance. What if a simple ceremony held profound cultural significance? Inside an Edo period tea house, every gesture was deliberate. It wasn't just about drinking tea. It was a ritual of harmony, respect, purity, and tranquility. Embrace this quiet elegance, revealing how these spaces fostered social connection and refined aesthetic appreciation. Imagine a city transformed by industrial progress and shrouded in mystery. Victorian London streets, often blanketed in fog, tell tales of bustling commerce and everyday life. These atmospheric conditions weren't just weather. They became an iconic part of the city's identity. Discover how urban environments uniquely shape culture and narrative. How were colossal structures like pyramids and temples built without modern machinery? Ancient Egyptian temple builders mastered complex engineering. They moved massive stones, aligned structures perfectly with stars, and crafted enduring monuments. Unleash your wonder at their ingenuity, revealing how their meticulous planning and skilled labor shaped an iconic civilization. Stop believing that ancient architecture lacked light and grandeur. Step inside a Gothic cathedral and you're immediately struck by its soaring arches and vibrant stained glass. These weren't just buildings, they were spiritual journeys upwards. Discover how these architectural marvels transformed worshippers' experiences, elevating human artistic and engineering ambition. What if daily hygiene was also a social event and a hub of culture? Roman bathhouses weren't just for washing. They were centers for exercise, business, and relaxation. Beneath the steam, citizens connected, exchanged ideas, and revitalized themselves. Discover how these vibrant complexes underscored the social fabric and engineering prowess of Roman society. Imagine setting sail into the unknown, driven by discovery. On an age of exploration ship deck, courage met curiosity. Sailors faced immense challenges, charting new routes and connecting distant lands. You're witnessing humanity's boundless quest to understand the world, revealing how these voyages transformed global trade and cultural exchange. What if a single invention could revolutionize how people worked and lived? On an early industrial factory floor, new machines transformed production. This wasn't just about manufacturing goods. It reshaped societies, creating new industries and urban centers. Discover how these innovations unleashed unprecedented economic and social change. Think about community life in harsh northern climates. Inside a Norse longhouse, families shared warmth, food, and stories around a central hearth. It wasn't just a dwelling, it was the heart of their society, fostering bonds and preserving traditions. Discover how these ingenious structures sustained vibrant communities through long, cold winters. What if you could experience a symphony of sights, sounds, and scents? A Persian market bazaar wasn't just a place to shop. It was a vibrant crossroads of cultures. Unleash your senses, revealing how these bustling hubs fostered global commerce and cultural exchange. How did ancient peoples navigate and understand the cosmos? In observatories like this, scholars meticulously charted celestial movements using vast maps. This wasn't just stargazing. It was pioneering science, crucial for timekeeping, agriculture, and navigation. Discover how these profound observations transformed humanity's view of the universe. 99% of people miss this about the printing press. It wasn't just a machine, it was a revolution. In workshops like this, information became accessible, transforming education and spreading new ideas rapidly. Discover how this breakthrough technology didn't just print books, it democratized knowledge, igniting global literacy and intellectual awakening. What if a simple beverage sparked an intellectual and social revolution? Ottoman coffee houses weren't just places to drink. They were vibrant hubs for discussion, poetry, and news. These lively spaces fostered community and cultural exchange. Embrace this unique glimpse into a social phenomenon that transformed urban life and public discourse. How did the Inca build earthquake-resistant cities without mortar? Their incredible stone masonry wasn't just construction, it was an art and science. They precisely cut and fitted massive stones, creating structures that have endured for centuries. Discover how their innovative engineering transformed landscapes, embodying precision and resilience. Imagine a time when entire communities revolved around maritime innovation. Colonial American shipyards weren't just building vessels, they were crafting pathways to commerce and connection. Skilled artisans transformed timber into ships that sailed the world, unleashing economic growth and cultural exchange. Discover how these hubs forged new identities. What if public spaces were also vibrant centers of profound thought? In the ancient Greek agora, philosophers debated ethics, politics, and the nature of reality. It wasn't just a marketplace, it was a birthplace of Western thought. Discover how these open discussions transformed intellectual inquiry, shaping critical thinking for millennia. Stop believing that warriors only focused on combat. A samurai warrior's garden wasn't just beautiful. It was a space for meditation and discipline. This serene environment fostered mental clarity and inner peace, crucial for their way of life. Discover how cultivating beauty was essential for cultivating focus and self-mastery. What if a single place housed the accumulated knowledge of the ancient world? Scholars at the Library of Alexandria weren't just reading books. They were cataloging, translating, and expanding humanity's understanding. This intellectual beacon transformed learning and scientific inquiry, igniting countless breakthroughs. Discover its unparalleled legacy of wisdom. Imagine a night where elegance and diplomacy intertwined. Grand European ballrooms weren't just for dancing. They were stages for social rituals, political networking, and cultural display. These opulent spaces fostered connections and influence. Discover how these vibrant gatherings shaped social hierarchies and historical relationships through artful interaction. How did ancient civilizations connect across vast arid landscapes? Desert caravans weren't just transportation. They were vital arteries of trade and cultural exchange. They carried precious goods, news, and ideas, forging links between distant empires. Unleash your wonder at their resilience, transforming barren lands into bustling economic routes. What if a meal was also a grand spectacle? Inside a medieval castle, feasts weren't just about food. They were elaborate displays of wealth, hospitality, and social hierarchy. These gatherings fostered alliances and celebrated community. Discover how these impressive events solidified power and status. How did ancient astronomers visualize the complex movements of celestial bodies? An armillary sphere in an observatory wasn't just a tool. It was a sophisticated model of the universe. It helped track stars and planets, advancing navigation and timekeeping. Discover how these intricate instruments transformed our understanding of the cosmos. Did you know a single metal transformed warfare, tools, and art? Bronze Age metalworkers weren't just crafting objects. They were mastering a revolutionary technology. They alloyed copper and tin, creating stronger, more durable materials. Unleash your appreciation for their innovation, fundamentally reshaping societies and igniting new eras. What if a garden wasn't just for beauty, but also for contemplation and intrigue? Royal gardens featuring labyrinths weren't just recreational spaces. They were designed for symbolic journeys and playful challenges. These intricate pathways fostered quiet reflection and elegant diversion. Discover how landscape design transformed natural spaces into meaningful experiences. How did artists capture the world before photography? The camera obscura wasn't just a dark room. It was a groundbreaking optical device. It projected realistic images, aiding artists in perspective and realism. Discover how this ingenious invention transformed visual representation, paving the way for modern photography and scientific observation. Stop believing that ancient cities lacked advanced infrastructure. Roman aqueduct construction wasn't just about moving water. It was a monumental feat of engineering. These vast systems supplied fresh water to bustling cities, transforming daily life and public health. Discover how their innovative design sustained massive urban populations for centuries.